Hey guys, so today I just want to do a really quick video kind of explaining my weight loss journey and how I got to this point. Let me mute my computer real quick. Okay, hopefully you don't hear me beeping now. Just explaining how I got here real quick. So, sorry for the messy hair, no makeup, but feeling kind of lazy today. So, you get the all-natural version of me. Anyway, so in high school, I was always kind of like at that top line of where I should be. I wasn't considered overweight or obese, by the doctor or anything like that. It was just kind of towing that line. I got married at 18, and that's kind of when things started to change because, up until that point, my parents had mostly fed me. I mean, I was independent enough that I typically bought, if I wanted something, I would go buy it, but for my primary meals, my parents were still providing the food. So I went from eating a decent diet, it did at least include some fresh food, some good meats, to eating the hey, I'm super poor kid diet. It included lots of frozen pizzas and pizza rolls and cheap white bread with peanut butter and jelly, ramen noodles, macaroni and cheese. Macaroni and cheese was dinner most nights. There's nothing in macaroni and cheese. My poor body. No wonder why it just started storing fat. Because when your body doesn't get nutrients, it feels like it's starving. It makes you gain weight. In case you didn't know. So, I started getting a little rounder. My face started to get a little... It almost looked like my face was swollen. When I look back at pictures now, I'm like, wow, I didn't notice it happening necessarily at the time. So I started kind of gaining weight then. My husband and I made a big life change, and I had a hard time coping. I hit a really long depression streak. I spent a lot of time just sitting on the couch. I didn't get up. I wasn't motivated. I didn't even want to try. I knew that I was the only one who could make myself feel better. I didn't care enough. I really didn't. I went back to seeing a counselor, and I was like, I know to say all the right things when you're sitting in the session. Oh yeah, I can do this, I can do this. This would make me feel better. I'm not going to do any of it. I'm going to go back home, and I'm going to go back to feeling bad for myself, and I'm going to lay on the couch again. And I did that for a long time. But I finally got another job, and I met some new friends, and that got me up and going a little more, so I did start to feel better. Except for now, I've gained a decent amount of weight, and now I don't feel good about myself. But socially I was doing better. So my husband was, you should start thinking about schooling. What are you going to do with the rest of your life? Obviously working at Subway is not a forever option. So after some thinking about it and some trial and error stuff, I decided I wanted to be a pastry chef. I went to a college. I felt really motivated. I loved their program. I loved all the stuff I was going to get to be doing. So I immediately went home and I started YouTubing everything, and I started just practicing. And my kitchen was this huge flour covered disaster all the time. I was always baking cupcakes, cakes, muffins, breads, anything I could try and make. I was trying it. I was decorating. I loved to decorate cakes and cupcakes. That was so fun, and it was nice and creative for me. It made me feel good when I was doing it. But I started, eating all of that food. You gotta taste what you're trying, and now you have 24 cupcakes sitting on the counter, so who's gonna eat those? Me. Most of the time. I did most of it. Because I don't want to just throw it away. I mean, it's sitting there, it's delicious. So, I had an aha moment one day. I was struggling and struggling because my pants were fitting less and less, and I was getting more and more frustrated with myself. And one day I was just like, okay, I can't be a pastry chef. I cannot bake, because if I keep doing this, I'm going to keep eating the food. I don't have the self-control to stop myself. So I need a new line of work. And so if baking makes me gain weight, I need something that's going to help me lose weight. I decided I wanted to try and be a nutritionist, so I got on. I was Googling, what is a nutritionist? How much schooling do they go through? All that kind of stuff. Well, in the middle of my Googling, an ad popped up for the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. I was like, okay, what's this? And it's for health coaching. And if you don't know what health coaching is, it's different from a nutritionist because I get to look at your whole life picture. I do help you with your food. I tell you, the things that could work best for your body. We try different diet types. Some people do really well with no carbs. I'm not one of those people. I still need carbs. Some people do really well with no meat. Other people do really well with lots of meat. I get to work through all of that. I get to figure out what makes you feel the best. And I also get to help talk to you about, how you're feeling as a person. How are your relationships? How is your job going? Do you have any kind of a religious or spiritual connection with something? And if not, maybe we could find something for you. Because for so many people, that helps to kind of give you a grounding. It makes you, feel better, even better, on top of all the other things. I get to help you work on all these little bitty puzzle pieces. And so it was like this really cool blend of getting to help you with your food and getting to help you like with counseling and stuff. And that was hugely appealing to me. So I immediately called them. I had an interview. I got accepted. It was a 1-year program. I absolutely loved it. In that 1 year's time, my husband and I got pregnant with our first pregnancy. I did lose that baby after the first trimester, and I think that had I not been in school with the amazing peers that I had, I don't know that I would have recovered that depression streak that I was in again. But this time it wasn't like to sit on the couch and be sad for myself. This time I was mad, and I hated pretty much everyone and everything. And my poor workers at Subway, man, I know, I'm sorry guys, I know that I was probably really unbearable for a while. I was mad. But I had amazing peers during my health coaching. If you go into this kind of field, you're typically a very compassionate person, and I needed that, and they helped me through all of my emotional baggage that I had going on. I was able to accept it, and we tried again. Had a successful pregnancy the second time around. I finished school during that pregnancy. I had my daughter. I gained a little more weight than I had wanted during pregnancy, but I didn't do too bad. I knew pretty much what I should be eating, so I followed that pretty well. After I had her, I lost a good portion of my baby weight. I had to cut out dairy and gluten already, so that pretty much eliminates anything bad you can eat. I could have meat, fruits, and veggies, and that was it, because anything else was making her sick. So I was losing the numbers on the scale, but my body was not looking like what it used to look like at 145 pounds. I hit 145 pounds before, and my belly was flat. My legs have always been my problem area. But now my belly was still soft, and before I had like this nice little curve that came. I didn't do that anymore, and so I was really just kind of disgusted with my body, and I knew that I needed something else to change. So I had been following this Beachbody coach. I completely related to her story. I loved her, so I decided on a whim one day to reach out to her. I ordered my first challenge pack, which was a TurboFire workout, and my first bag of Shakeology. And I started them. I then had surgery, so I had to restart a second time after I was cleared. But once I restarted that second time, I committed to it, and I lost I think I was back up to 145 or 155, and I dropped down to 130. So I lost 25 pounds doing TurboFire and Shakeology, and I was feeling amazing. I was feeling strong for the first time in my life. I felt strong on the inside. I felt strong physically. It was an amazing transformation that I went through, and so I was like, I want to do this. I want to be a coach. I want to be like my coach, and I want to inspire people to reach for this, because this feeling is like nothing I've ever had. So that's kind of how I ended up here. After TurboFire, I did 21 Day Fix. I did 21 Day Fix Extreme. I started Brazil butt lift, but it was working. It was absolutely working, but I like a higher intensity. I want to like be screaming and sweating, and I want to feel like I'm dying in the middle of a workout, and it just wasn't quite giving me that. It was working my muscles, don't get me wrong. So I didn't finish it. I got about halfway through. And now currently I'm focusing on trying all of the programs so I can figure out which one I want to do next. I kind of feel like I'm going back to Chalene Johnson now. She's the one who does TurboFire, and I think I'm going back to her. So that's where I'm at now. Honestly, I am more fit and healthier than I've ever been in my entire life. I feel better on the day-to-day. This last winter, I didn't have any depression, which, I mean, every winter was a thing for me. It wasn't that it was like those weeks long on the couch like I had gone through those couple of periods in life, but it was just, life felt like a daily struggle. You know, I honestly didn't have that this year, and I really think that it was a combination of getting the right nutrition that I get from my shakes and eating a balanced diet and working out at least 30 minutes 5 times a week. Most of the time I try and work out 7, because if I take like 2 days off, I'm going to take 3 days off, and so I try to work out 7 days a week, at least 30 minutes a day, and I swear that's why I did so much better. That's why this spring I have not had to kind of rebuild myself. I'm still like feeling good. I didn't have to get knocked down and build back up. I got to stay up, and that was fantastic to me. So that's my story. If you have any questions, I would love to talk to you. If you have any questions about, you know, the programs I mentioned, whether it be IIN, the school I went to, or the workouts that I do, I've got other YouTube videos you can go watch, or please come to me directly. Like, I would love to have a phone call or a Facebook chat with you, however you want to do it. If you want to talk about coaching, absolutely an option. You don't have to be a health coach. Okay, I just like that I get to use my schooling knowledge with my Beachbody experience and make it a whole experience for my coaches and my customers. But by no means you have to be. All you need is passion to help other people find a higher happiness in life. Because honestly, that's what this has done for me. It's made me feel happier and like a more well-rounded person than I ever have. And I am more busy and more stressed now than I've ever been. So, I mean, there's something to be said for that. It's not just about weight loss. It is a life experience. It really is. And I'm so grateful that I have discovered it. I hope you all have a great day, and I hope this didn't go on too long. So, I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later.